Howdy folks, I'm Gentle Gingerbread, gingerly guiding graceful guests.
I'm Amber.
And here are more grateful guests for us to guide straight into the fruitcakes from earlier. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Leaving a Christmas Party Early Because I Got a Bad Gift? I went to a Christmas party yesterday. At this party, we had a gift exchange. Everyone at the party knew each other, and we made an executive decision to bring actually good gifts. We understood that some people are more financially challenged than others, so we set the gift price limit at $10. Well, I bought 2 gifts since my friend came with me, so I spent $24. Yes, I went a little over budget because I love giving a good gift to people. There were 50 people at the party and everyone got a gift, but I was told by several people that the gifts that I brought were the best. Now, I was not expecting anything grand or even something good. However, I wasn't expecting to get something nobody would want. So out of 50 gifts, my friends and I took home 2 of the worst gifts. All of the other gifts were pretty decent. When I paid for, arguably, the 2 best gifts. Do you know what we got? A potato. And she got a Hot Wheel car. I tried really hard not to be upset, but ended up leaving early. I mostly left so that people wouldn't see me upset because I didn't want anyone to feel bad for me. I didn't get mad at anyone or say anything mean. I did cry a little bit on the way home. But when I told my friends why I was upset, she claimed that I had no reason to be, and that leaving a little early was rude of me. Now I feel like I should have been happy about getting a potato, but my love language is gifts, and I can't help but feel a little bit used. Am I the jerk for leaving early and being upset? All right, folks, what do you think?
I think my judgment here depends partly on if it was like a white elephant swap where
No. I mean, I read some of the comments and it wasn't a white elephant's gift.
so it was deliberately OP giving OP a potato.
Yeah, it was a Secret Santa type situation, OP
Oof,
claims
okay.
in the comments.
Yeah, I definitely think then OP has the right to be upset. I was gonna say, like, if it's white elephant, then like you don't know who's getting what, and so someone might have thought it was a funny gag. But if it's very targeted, then that feels very not cool.
Yeah, I have a hard time feeling like OP did anything wrong here just because if you went out of your way to try getting people gifts that you thought that they would really like and then you're repaid by a pretty terrible gift, I think that that's going to be something that's going to, be a little insulting.
Right, like this, whoever gifted it, like couldn't even be bothered to re-gift something half decent. They just were like, oh, here's a potato on my counter. I'm gonna gift this.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they panicked and just didn't buy anything last
I
moment.
mean, there's a very good chance that they did do it, like panic, but like why not at least if you're gonna re-gift something, make it half decent. I'm sure there's something you have lying around, or go to the dollar store or something.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Serenity Passasaurus says, I have a hunch that someone thought Secret Santa equals white elephant. You need to laugh it off. Nothing a coworker gave you as a gift for under $10 was going to be transformative, profound, or highly personalized. And Opie replies, I'm over it now. It's pretty funny. I ate the potato.
I mean, there are a lot of great potato recipes, but I wouldn't trust this potato from some random person.
I mean, why? Like, you get random potatoes from the farmers. How can you not? I mean, they're random people as well.
Yeah, but like I don't know how long it's been sitting on their counter for. I mean, I guess if it doesn't have eyes, the potatoes you can at least look at and be like, do they have eyes?
Yeah, if they have eyes or if they're mushy or something like that. But as long as they're firm and, don't have eyes, I think that is probably a fine potato to eat. And Luna Tuna Bell says, at least they could have given you a 5-pound bag of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And Opie replies, right? I would have taken that better. And Hawk Girl 8420 says, the same exact thing happened to me several years ago. This was a white elephant gift exchange. Everyone bought decent gifts, but this couple gave half-eaten sandwiches in one gift and a potato in the other. I got the latter and I was livid. I tried to be chill about it, but inside I was fuming. It just felt so disrespectful. Edit ad, not the jerk. And OP replies, wow, a half-eaten sandwich is wild. And BKW 156 says, I got a freaking mouse. A real live freaking mouse at work, Secret Santa. This dude was barely 18, and I briefly mentioned that I had one at one point. I don't know what was going through this guy's head, but he honestly tried and missed. All I have to say is that I would agree with all the people saying that it was a thoughtless doof instead of a person being malicious. I would have taken a picture of it as a baked potato and posted it. Oh, and I made him take the mouse back to the shop. And Wicked Angel Love says, info, was this a white elephant, or did someone buy you specifically a potato? And OP replies, right, I should be more specific. It was a secret Santa. So someone purposely gave me a potato. And LMDR 1973 says, this post made me run to Amazon and buy a secret Santa gift that I needed for my work party on the 20th. I even went over the limit a little bit to make sure that the person that I got the gift for didn't feel the way that you do. I'm sorry, OP. Can you find out who had you? And OP replies, wow, lol, that was kind of you. I can probably ask the host. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, How do I, a 28-year-old female, explain to my partner, a 27-year-old male, that I'm not ungrateful, but rightfully annoyed that he bought me a frying pan for my birthday? So, today was my birthday. I had a great day until I got home. My partner of 5 years, who I live with, called me and told me that he was coming home and making a steak, but he wanted to pick up a stainless steel pan first because I know that he's wanted to get one for a little while. It's important to note that he always ties up my birthday and anniversary presents as they're a few days apart. I arrive home after him and he has a card, flowers, and the frying pan as my gift sitting on the dining table. The flowers are lovely. I love flowers, and I love a nice birthday card. The pan, on the other hand, which he ran out and picked up before arriving home, really upset me. I do a majority of the cooking and cleaning in our relationship as I'm a full-time student with a stipend, so I'm home more often. This is fine, but that pan represents more work for me. I have been telling him for a couple of years now that I would love a necklace or something pretty. I did a poor job of hiding my disappointment. I laughed at the pan initially because I truly thought that he was joking about it. Over dinner, he dug into me about it, saying that I was entitled and spoiled for being upset about the pan. While meanwhile, I had told him about some things that I would have loved. One was actually kitchen related, but it was a frivolous want and not a need like a pan. Furthermore, it feels like he wanted the pan more than me. He tried to frame it as a way that we could cook more together, or it's a great practical gift so that he can get daily use out of it. The gifts that I give him have been consistently meaningful, personalized, and special just for him. I feel like it's important to note that I had to talk him down from getting himself a new GPU for his computer and giving me his old GPU as my birthday gift. He thinks that I'm being ungrateful, and I spent my birthday evening crying and just wanting to run away. I cannot get across to him why the pen is just a representation of more work for me. Meanwhile, we are going to Singapore for his birthday. I feel hurt, unheard, and wound up apologizing because I wanted to stop, and he made me feel horrible for all of this. Can anyone please provide me with some help as to how to tell him that this upset me? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think there's not going to be a way to tell him unless he's willing to listen. I think the way, if OP has spoken to him, like the way she's laid it out in this post, she has made it very clear, and he is intentionally doing it this way. He either can't be bothered to get her a real gift, or, you know, like, he just doesn't care about her. It's kind of what it comes across as to me. So I think, one, OP, maybe reevaluate your relationship. Is this the only area where there are issues, or is he inconsiderate in other areas? And if you really want to salvage it, I think the only way to get through to him how selfish these gifts are give him equivalent gifts. You know, what's a chore that he does? If he takes out the trash, give him some garbage bags or a new garbage bin for his birthday. You know, stop giving him thoughtful gifts when he gives you trash. He's not, or not trash, but, you know, work gifts, chore gifts.
Give him the old Rapunzel treatment. That's the gift that he should get. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, no violence. No violence, OP. This was kind of an inconsiderate gift. I think that he really just doesn't care. I think that he didn't take time to actually pick out a good quality gift. And it's clear he didn't actually take the time to go and shop for OP, because this is just a set of flowers that he got on the way home, along with a frying pan that he got on the way home. He didn't take any real time or thought about this. And had he actually taken some real time and thought about it, then maybe he wouldn't have gotten you a frying pan.
Well, it almost seems too like he deliberately does not think OP is worth spending the money on,
Mm-hmm.
because she's even given him ideas of what to get her, and
Yeah.
he refuses to. He's like, you know what? I want a new GPU. I can pass this off, give OP my old one and pass it off as a gift. Like, it's like he uses her birthday to get things that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems like a very self-centered person.
Yeah, I mean, that's the read I'm getting here as well. I don't think that this is a problem with OP. I think this is a problem with their partner. Their partner is just an inconsiderate individual who's going to get themselves gifts and mask it as a way of getting OP something. Like, this whole framing of it, like, oh, we can cook more together. Well, you should be cooking more together anyways. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's not even necessarily a gift. And like the gift would be the actually cooking together thing. So like
Mm-hmm.
if he had like a week of meals planned out that he wanted to do with you and like knew you were up for it, then like that might be a gift. But just being like, oh, here's a frying pan, we can cook more together without
Mm-hmm.
any follow through, that's not a gift.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Fwaza says time to buy him a mop with his name engraved in the handle. Tell him that it's so that he can spend more time cleaning with you. He'll either figure out where he went wrong or start cleaning the floors a bit more. And Daydreamer 1986 says, this is the only answer, I think, considering that he is idiotic enough not to get why that's not only the world's most misogynistic gift, but downright an insult. OP, stop giving him thoughtful gifts if he isn't reciprocating. If someone isn't reciprocating, you need to stop giving. You already explained it to him, so no idea what else you could do to communicate with him. Maybe show him this post and the replies.
Well, and I don't even think it's necessarily that he doesn't understand. I think he knows, and he just doesn't want to be bothered with having to deal with getting OP a gift, and so he's just trying to manipulate her into accepting it.
Yeah. And Vjornine says, cancel the trip, buy a tin of paint in a color that you like, and tell him for his birthday that you're going to paint the kitchen together. Tell him that is a bonding opportunity, then make sure you don't actually help. And Miss Pick says, this is my favorite suggestion. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I closed my door on my neighbor's face because she really needed peanut brittle. Am I the jerk? Hello, this is an odd situation for me, where I just really don't know if I was being too much of a jerk here. But I'm just tired, and let me tell you why. I'm a 20-year-old guy, and I still live with my dad at his house. My mom was in a lengthy battle with breast cancer, and she passed during August. It wrecked me on so many levels that I was not prepared for. On top of losing my hero, I felt like I should stay with my dad to be here with him and support him. One of those things is keeping up with traditions and recipes passed down from my mom, and it's been really hard for the holidays to even capture a fraction of the spirit of when my mom would do holidays, and she was the backbone of setting up stuff, preparing food, and decorating. But this is where we run into problems. My mom, when she was alive, would make peanut brittle, some fudge, and double chocolate crinkle cookies, and she would make up to like 30 batches of them to put in containers and hand them out to family, to friends, and to me and my siblings and coworkers, and of course the neighbors. This is my first real year of making all these sweets by myself, and I'm really not committed to doing all of this baking. When I'm just in college, as well as balancing a job and a side hustle, I have to make more money. I'm just too sad with the grieving and too tired from school and work to do a lot of batches. In fact, the only reason why I'm making these sweets is because they're yummy, and I cannot lie, I know that my dad would appreciate them. I just started to attempt to make them. I only have made 2 small test batches, and they were good, not as good as my mom's, but this is where my neighbor knocks on my door. I answer expecting a Christmas card, and she says, hi, I was wondering if you have any of that peanut brittle done. So I explain, like, yeah, I'm trying to perfect the recipe, but I don't know if I can send them out this year. And then she asks, oh, mom's name is really slacking this year. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, does she not know that my mom passed away? And then I'm thinking that we told her of the news of it spreading, and her being too tired to do any of the like neighborhood walking around the block with her friends. So I'm dumbfounded that she can't put 2 and 2 together, that she isn't able to make peanut brittle. So I tell her that she passed away in August, and then she just looks at me with a surprised expression. She said, with almost a confused tone, "So you're not making peanut brittle at all? How about tomorrow?" At that point, I just closed the door, and I'm kind of just hand in fist because I'm about to break down, ugly cry, and other bad emotions. My dad finally comes out of his room and asks who it was. Was it a package? And I tell him it was a neighbor wanting peanut brittle, and he just looks at me confused. And he told me, "You haven't even figured out the right temperature yet," in a joking way. But right as he says that, my neighbor texts him saying that I was being a snark to her, and so I tell him the whole story. He gets teary-eyed because we are still grieving my mom, and he was like more lighter than usual on the peanut brittle for us. So am I the jerk? I feel like I could have been worse by either yelling or just flat out crying, but me choosing to close the door in a fast manner was all I could really think to do. I didn't really mean to upset her. I'm thinking all this stuff, maybe she didn't know and was processing it, but she knew that my mom was barely able to walk 100 to 200 feet and was always tired. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And like, even if your mom had been in perfect health, it's entitled to come over and demand peanut brittle. But as soon as she found out that the mom had passed, like the audacity of being like, well, can't you make me some tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say on this one other than that this neighbor is extraordinarily entitled and that you just can't go up to people's houses and demand peanut brittle. Did she smell it cooking or something like that? I just don't have the slightest idea why she decided all of a sudden to come up to OP's door and demand peanut brittle here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for OP. I think that it's going to take some time to grieve. It's a really hard time to have a holiday, to have the holidays when you are missing someone that you love dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then to add on top of it, people like this make it even harder.
Yeah, well, because the mom was doing this out of kindness, and it seems like the neighbor is trying to take advantage of that kindness to get free food, which is not a cool thing to do.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
All right, this one I made up, so you'll be the judge. What do ghosts wear to keep their feet warm in the winter?
They wear spooky slippers.
Boots.
Oh, boots. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a Hallmark card.
Wishing you happy holidays. Remember, gifts are gifts, not obligations. But also, don't give your coworker a potato.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.